Okay, so have you ever walked into like a room, uh, you know, and it's full of people you just don't know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
happens all the time,
It's like that classic, first day at a new job,
right?
or maybe you've just moved to a whole new city and you're trying to,
Yeah.
make friends, find your people.
Yeah.
Today we are diving deep into that exact scenario.
I love it.
We've got this really interesting source material that follows a woman named Yasmin.
Okay.
She's just moved, and it takes us through like this snapshot of her first social event in this new city,
Ooh.
like from the moment she arrives
Okay.
to making plans to hang out again later.
Awesome.
Our mission today is to break down what makes Yasmin's interactions successful,
Right.
so we can all maybe pick up some tips for navigating, those sometimes awkward first encounters.
Yeah, I mean, it's something everybody goes through.
Totally.
Yeah.
So everybody listening can relate to this. I think
Sure.
first impressions, they really matter.
Absolutely.
And so let's jump right into it.
Let's do it.
The source material describes Yasmin as she arrives at this gathering,
Okay.
and it says she's slightly nervous but smiling,
Interesting.
which I don't know about you, but that's like
Oh, yeah.
me at every party.
Totally.
I'm like, hey, everybody.
Right.
But inside, I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
What do you think is going on there psychologically when you have that kind of like mix of nerves
Yeah.
and that outward, smile?
Well, I think there's actually something really smart happening there, even if it's not totally conscious.
Okay.
On the one hand, that smile, it's like a universal signal.
Yeah.
You're saying, hey, I'm friendly, I'm open to connecting.
Great.
It puts people at ease. But then that little bit of nervousness, it shows you're human,
Yeah.
It's like this tiny vulnerability that I think can actually make you more relatable.
Oh, that's interesting.
People see that and they're like, oh, okay, this person is genuine.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be like super smooth or anything.
Right. It makes you seem more authentic.
Exactly.
And it's funny because I feel like sometimes I try to hide those nerves,
Oh, yeah. I know, me too.
but maybe that's not the best strategy.
Maybe not. Maybe letting a little bit of that vulnerability show is actually a good thing.
Right. Like it's okay to be a little nervous.
Exactly. People appreciate authenticity.
So Yasmin's kind of doing this balancing act of like putting herself out there,
Yeah.
but also, keeping it real.
Yeah, and it sounds like she's doing it really well.
And then there's Emily, who's the host of this gathering,
Okay.
and she greets Yasmin. And the source material emphasizes her like cheerful tone when she's like, welcome, come in.
I mean, that sounds so simple,
Right.
but that first impression, that can set the tone for the whole evening,
Totally. And think about it, like when you walk into a place
Yeah.
and someone just gives you that warm welcome,
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
it instantly makes you feel more comfortable, like less anxious.
For sure.
You're not just standing there awkwardly by yourself.
Exactly, like you're already part of the group.
Right.
Yeah, and I think on a deeper level, it signals something really important, too.
Okay, what's that?
It's like Emily saying, hey, this is a safe space.
Hmm.
You can relax, be yourself. You're welcome here.
And that could be super powerful, especially if you're in a new environment.
Totally. It takes the pressure off,
Right. So much of the anxiety of social situations is like, am I going to be accepted here?
Exactly. And Emily just takes care of that right away.
Yeah, just by being warm and welcoming.
It's like a social superpower.
I love that social superpower.
Yay.
All right, so Yasmin's feeling a little more at ease now.
Hopefully.
And the next thing Emily does is she introduces Yasmin to the group.
Good move.
Yeah, she's like, everyone, this is Yasmin. She just moved here recently.
Okay. So she's taking the lead with introductions.
Yeah, why do you think that's such an effective strategy?
Well, first off, it just takes the pressure off Yasmin.
Right.
Like, she doesn't have to figure out how to approach people or, worry about interrupting.
Right.
Emily's handling all of that.
It's like a social safety net.
Totally. And it also gives everyone in the group a clear reason to talk to Yasmin.
Yeah, like, oh, this is the new person we should be welcoming.
Exactly. It creates that instant common ground.
And it shows that Emily's like a good host.
For sure. She's paying attention to the dynamics of the group.
Yeah, making sure everyone feels included.
It's like she's creating a more welcoming environment for everyone.
Yeah, and it's something we can all try to do even if we're not hosting a party.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you see someone standing alone at an event,
Right.
just go up and introduce yourself.
Be that social lubricant.
I love it.
Make them feel welcome.
Okay, so introductions are done, and then someone in the group, Jake, he just jumps in with a question.
Okay. The classic icebreaker.
Exactly. He says, hey, Yasmin, nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Yeah. The age-old question.
Right. It seems so basic.
It does.
But why do you think it's such a reliable conversation starter?
Well, I think it's because it's open-ended.
Okay.
It's not just a yes or no. It invites people to tell a little bit of their story.
Right, like where they're from, why they're here.
Exactly. And for Yasmin, this is a chance to share something about her background.
Yeah, and it turns out she's from Iran and moved for work.
Okay, so right away, we're learning some interesting things about her.
And those are like these little hooks that people can latch onto for further conversation.
Totally. Like her background, her career, why she chose this city.
Right. There's so many directions the conversation can go from there.
Yeah, it's like a doorway to getting to know someone.
I like that. A doorway to getting to know someone.
Right.
So Jake and Sophia, who's also in the group,
Oh, okay.
they jump on those hooks right away.
Awesome.
Jake says, "Oh, that's cool. How are you liking it so far?"
Okay, good follow-up.
And Sophia adds, "Yeah, it takes time. Have you
Right.
found any favorite places yet?"
I love that.
They're not just asking these generic, polite questions.
Right, it's deeper than that.
They're actually like inviting her to share her experiences.
Yeah, it shows they're genuinely interested.
And that's so crucial in making someone feel welcome.
Absolutely. When you feel like someone's truly listening to you,
Yeah,
it makes you want to open up more.
totally. So the conversation keeps flowing,
Okay. Yeah,
and then it kind of naturally shifts to work.
that's a common one.
Yeah. Jake asks, "So what do you do for work?"
Makes sense. It's a way to connect on a different level, you know?
Yeah, like maybe you're in the same industry,
Right.
or you have similar skills.
Or even just those shared experiences of the work world.
Exactly, and you never know what might come out of it.
Oh, yeah, like in the source material, Jake actually jokes about maybe collaborating with Yasmin sometime.
That's right. He's a graphic designer, and she works in marketing.
So there's potential there. You just never know where these conversations will lead.
And then Yasmin, she doesn't just talk about herself.
Okay, good.
She turns it around and asks Jake about his work.
Nice. That back and forth, that's what keeps the conversation going.
Right. It's like a tennis match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're volleying back and forth.
Yeah, if one person is just talking the whole time,
Yeah, it gets boring.
it becomes like a monologue.
Right, and no one wants that.
No. And by asking about Jake's work, Yasmin's showing that she's curious about the people around her.
Totally. It's not just about her.
Yeah, she's actively trying to get to know them too.
And that creates this nice sense of balance in the conversation.
Right. And I think it shows respect too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you're valuing the other person's experiences.
Exactly. You're not just using them as a sounding board for your own stuff.
Okay, so then Sophia, she kind of takes the conversation a step deeper.
Right. How does she do that?
Well, she asks Yasmin about specific projects she's worked on.
Okay. Getting into the details.
Yeah, like social media campaigns and branding, stuff like that.
That shows a real interest in what Yasmin actually does.
Right. It's not just, oh, you work in marketing. That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's going beyond the surface level.
And I think it signals to Yasmin that Sophia is really trying to understand her.
And maybe find those points of shared interest.
Yeah, because even within a field like marketing, there are so many different specialties.
Exactly. So you're digging deeper, trying to find that common ground.
So Yasmin explains some of her work, and she describes it as being fun, but also challenging.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. It's not just like, oh, my job is amazing or my job is terrible.
Right.
It's a more nuanced perspective.
And I think that's really relatable.
Totally, because most jobs have their ups and downs.
Exactly. It's that honesty that makes people connect.
And then Emily, she jumps back in with this little comment.
Okay, what does she say?
She's like, sounds like we have a creative group here.
Interesting.
It's not like directly related to what Yasmin was saying.
Right, but I think she's trying to create a sense of group identity.
Yeah, like we're all creative people here.
Exactly, and that can make Yasmin feel more like she belongs.
Right, like she's found her tribe.
It's subtle, but it's really effective.
And then as the evening is winding down, Emily makes a point of telling Yasmin how glad she is that she came.
Oh, that's so nice.
Right, it's like a little boost of positive reinforcement.
Especially for someone new to the group.
Yeah, it just reinforces that feeling of being welcomed.
And it makes Yasmin more likely to come back next time.
Totally. And then Sophia, she takes it a step further.
Okay, what does she do?
She actually invites Yasmin to hang out again.
Nice. So they're moving beyond that initial meeting.
Yeah, she's like, hey, a few of us are going to check out a new cafe this week and want to join.
Specific plans.
Yeah, and that's what makes it feel real. You know?
Right. It's not just like, yeah, we should hang out sometime.
It's an actual invitation.
Exactly. And Yasmin's response is perfect.
Yeah, she's like, that sounds great. I'd love to.
Enthusiastic.
Yeah, she's not playing it cool.
Right. She's showing that she's excited about this new connection.
And then Jake, he follows up by saying he'll message her the details.
Okay, so they're making it happen.
Yeah, it's that follow-through that turns a casual invitation into a plan.
And it shows Yasmin that they're serious about including her.
So looking back at this whole interaction,
Yeah.
what do you think were the key things that made Yasmin so successful in this new social setting?
Well, I think, first of all, she was open and approachable,
Oh,
even though she was a little
right.
nervous.
She didn't let that stop her.
Exactly. And she was actively engaged in the conversations.
Yeah, she has questions. She shared things about herself,
And she was genuinely interested in what other people had to say.
and that made all the difference.
It did. She wasn't just waiting for people to entertain her.
Right. She was an active participant in creating those connections.
And when people invited her to do things, she said yes.
Yeah, and she was enthusiastic about it.
Exactly. And all of that contributes to this feeling of like, okay, this is someone I want to get to know better.
And it's important to remember that building real connections, it takes time.
Oh, for sure.
It's not like you go to one party and suddenly you have a whole new squad.
But yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are friendships.
Right, and the source material actually makes this point too.
Okay, what does it say?
It says that each conversation, no matter how small, it helps you build confidence in that sense of belonging in a new environment.
I love that. It's like each interaction is a little building block
Yeah, and over time, those blocks add up to something really solid.
to a community.
Exactly.
Right.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Yasmin's first social outing,
Yeah.
I think the big takeaway is that it's often those small, seemingly insignificant actions
Right.
that actually make the biggest difference.
Like a smile, a question, a genuine follow-up.
And those are things we can all do.
Absolutely. It's about being intentional with our interactions.
So here's a little something to think about as you go about your day.
Okay, I like it.
Think back to those simple questions that Yasmin and her new friends were asking each other.
Right.
Like, where are you from?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Have you found any favorite places yet?
Basic but effective.
They seem so basic,
They do.
but they opened up these whole avenues for conversation and connection.
Totally. They're like conversation starters.
Exactly. So what are some simple questions that you could use
Yeah.
the next time you meet someone new?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what could you ask to spark an interesting conversation and maybe even uncover some surprising common ground?
It's a challenge.
It is, but I think it's a fun one
But sure.
because you never know what you might discover.
Right.
That one little question could be the start of a whole new friendship.
It really could. It's about being open to those possibilities.
Exactly. And that's what makes social interactions so fascinating.
Agreed. You never know where it will take you.
And on that note, we'll wrap it up for today.
Sounds good.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the art of making connections.
My pleasure, as always.
And until next time, happy connecting.
Yeah, go out there and make some new friends.
Yeah.